Hey, good afternoon. Day 2 of the new year. My name is Glenn. Doing my second day of recording a day in the life at my job. How was everybody's new year? I hope it went well. I'm right now in the middle of talking and driving at the same time. And just trying to make it out of this garage here. How's everybody's day going? Mine started off okay. I was having, some issues early, and the very first thing that happened today, I had one of my team members coming to me complaining because their printer wasn't working. Now, I originally put in a ticket for the printer to be repaired, or at least looked at, and I left a sticky on top of the label printer with the ticket number. So maybe 2 or 3 days go by and doesn't look like anybody called to check on us and make sure our printer is done from IT. So I decided to call them this morning because one of the team members said the printer wasn't working. So I called. I had the wrong ticket number, so I had to find the right ticket number, gave them the right ticket number, and he updates me and tells me that someone actually did call, but whoever they did talk to in my department basically told them they knew nothing about it. Now, I have a special crew, so every day when we talk, you'll get what I mean. They tell the IT representative they didn't know anything about it, and IT said that they canceled the ticket. Let me ask y'all something. Managers, and honestly, people in general, if you get a call that comes into your office and they tell you what they're looking for, or they're responding to a ticket that was put in, sometimes you're not going to know anything about the ticket, but you would think that that person would have enough wherewithal to ask around, to go room to room to see if anyone has a ticket on their label printer in this particular instance, so they can go back and give the tech the proper information needed so that they can follow through with the repair that they need. But no, not my group. Someone answered the call because they didn't know about it. That was the end of the call. They basically told the technician they knew nothing about it, so they ended the call. So what I wound up having to do is just have a conversation with the team and remind them, anytime anyone calls, whether it be IT or anyone, please make sure that the person who made the call is aware that someone called. And even if the person's not there or aware, at least check around before you decide that they're called the wrong spot. It's just a lot of those frustrating things, and things that I generally have to deal with on a daily basis with my special crew. And then once I come back and report this to the person who told me in the first place that her printer wasn't working, she decides that she wants to tell me. So just make sure that you give them the right ticket and the right ticket number, as if I don't know how to do my job already as it is. Then I got another one comes in this morning because she's already put in for her transfer, telling me she wants to take 10 days, 12 days, because she needs to go to see her mother who's ill. I have no issues with anyone going to see their loved one I never try to get in the way when it comes to that type of thing. I usually try to work with the team member to make sure that they're good and that they'll be able to do what needs to be done in that situation. So what this one decides to do, she just got back from being sick with something, not sure what it was, but she's been sick for a while. She's finally back, and she doesn't have any health time left. She doesn't have any health time left, and now she's trying to get 10 days off. What is it with people today that don't really pay attention to their personal time? They don't pay attention to their personal health time, the sick time. They just think that because they asked for it that they're supposed to be able to get it. Doesn't always work that way. Managers, how do you usually handle that situation? Because what I basically have been telling her is, look, you used up all of your time. You've been out sick a lot. You have no health time. And the way this particular company does it, you have your personal time and you have your sick time. When you take any of your personal health time, they also take that same time from your PTO time. Anywhere that I've ever worked, I've never seen that happen. It's just weird to me. I just feel like you're ripping off the employee. They should be separate and they shouldn't be in any way connected. But the way this company works is if you take your PTO health time, they also take that 8 hours from your PTO time. But if you request PTO time off and you have it, they don't mess with your sick time. I mean, obviously we know why they do it. They try to make sure you have as little PTO time as ever, so that if you decided that you wanted to leave at the end of a period, they don't have to do that payout. But I digress. Then the other thing that I have going on is I have a couple of young kids who do work for us, who are also college students. And now what I've had to do was redo the schedule because they're now back in school. So it's really been one of those trying type days. Yeah, my phone battery was going, so I had to plug that up. Sorry about that. So yeah, this is just a lot of my typical stuff that I have to deal with, and it's just always something. One of the other things that I've been dealing with today is making sure that people get out for their lunches on time. Do y'all have those issues, managers? You set your time for each of your team members. They should know it by heart by now, where they're supposed to go. Being that we work in a busy outpatient lab, sometimes you get caught up with patients. So what I pretty much try to tell them is 15-20 minutes prior to the start of your lunch, make that your last patient before lunchtime. Clean up your space and be out by lunchtime, your designated lunchtime. Then afterwards, you're expected to be back within 45 minutes. So you're supposed to punch out for your lunch and you're supposed to punch back in when you get back. But not this group. There's always one or two who will decide, well, I think I can get one more patient in. I mean, I appreciate them trying to help us by getting another patient in before going to help the team. But my concern has always been them getting back on time so the next person can go and get back on time. There's always one So what I've decided to do is when you take your lunch, you make sure you take it on time and you get back on time. Now, if you choose to leave later than your allotted time that was given to you, you still got to be back at the time that you're expected to be back so that the others can go at the time that they're supposed to go. It's not fair for them to have to wait for you to come back. And then you have these call outs. First thing this morning, every morning I get angina because I'll sit there by my phone waiting for someone to call. There's always one that's going to call out. It never fails. And today was no different. I had another young lady who didn't call me, but I just so happened to go on to my messages from home. I was able to get online from home and remote in and be able to check my messages. So I see a message. We're supposed to, by policy, notify the supervisor, who is me. You have to leave a voice message on the department voicemail for whoever comes in first and takes the messages off. They can see, they'll know right away if someone's out. And they're supposed to call a third number, our laboratory customer service line, so that they can disseminate that information throughout the lab by email, so everyone will know, including other managers and supervisors that are within the lab. The whole idea is for everyone to know. So I finally called the young lady and I say to her, I see that you called laboratory customer service around 1 something this morning, but I didn't get a call or a text from you. So she finally gets around to telling me that she did text me. She did call laboratory customer service. And she did leave a voicemail. So it's my fault I didn't check the voice message, but someone should have checked the voice message this morning. She said she did text me, but I guess it didn't go through. So I just had to leave another, during the huddle, I had to tell them, I said, ladies, when you're sending me a text message, especially if you're going to be calling out, please make sure your messages go through. What's up? Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That's why I didn't want to close it all the way.
All right. That's my son. I guess he's on his way out to go do something. I just decided to stop by the house for lunch, and I'm just taking my break right now. And I just figured I'd just take a few minutes to check in and just drop a couple of things, and I was just reading something, so excuse me. So tell me, maybe you guys can leave me a couple of jewels in the comments. How do you handle a lot of those situations? Maybe you can give me a couple of ideas as far as how you deal with those situations where you got someone who calls out and they don't properly do what they need to do. Now, generally, what I will do in that situation is I will address it at the time when it happens first. Then, after addressing it, I have a little notebook. I put the date, the time, what the situation is, how it was addressed, what the response was from the team member, and I'll just keep it in notes. If I have to talk to them again, it would be considered a verbal warning, and if I have to talk to them a third time about it, then it becomes a write-up, and then it's all sent to ER, employee relations, and they deal with it how they deal with it, because at some point you have to nip it in the bud, and if you have to get rid of somebody, then so be it. Because I've had a lot of different issues with my team here at work, whether it be coming in late, and I do the same thing with coming in late. You have no more than an hour that you can accumulate over a month's time if you're late. All lates are occurrences. Some are a whole point for an occurrence, some are half of a point for an occurrence. Even if you're sick, it's maybe a half of an occurrence. They add up. You get some people who call out as much as 10 times during the course of a whole year. That's way too many call outs. Granted, sometimes you're sick, but you're sick every single time. I mean, I've heard conversations in passing sometimes where I've heard some of the team members say things like, well, you know what? I just didn't feel like coming in, so I just called out. Or they were out partying too long or too late, and they were maybe hungover and couldn't make it in. Or their car's not working, so you have to call Uber to get the work on time, to get them to work. Or they just don't have transportation. Some things you can allow depending on what the situation is. I allow for some leniency in certain situations and some understanding in certain situations. But what I tend to do is look for patterns. Because I have one person who's in school, used to be a full-timer. She decided to go back to school. She asked if I could reduce her hours and the number of days, because, which is understandable, she's got to study and she needs time in the classes. So I did that. I reduced her times so that she can go to school. So then she comes back and asks if I can reduce it a little more. I did that, and I told her, I really can't give you any more time than this off, because I need to make sure that my department is operational and I have people here that can work. So what she would do at some points is call out. Now, you're only here maybe 2-3 days at the most out of the week, and then you call out, because then you look at the patterns, you see certain days that she's off, she'll get a call out, and I apologize for that noise if you hear it. My back window just blew out. I went to sit in the car in the garage at work and shut the door, and it just exploded. This is the third time that has happened. The first 2 times I thought that somebody, purposely came after my car and purposely burst my back window. But this particular time I was sitting in the car and it just exploded, which reminds me I have to call Safelite today to see if I can get someone out here to repair it. Being that it is the third time, I do have a lifetime warranty, so they should be able to come out and do this without it even messing with my insurance. So she's getting back to what I was talking about. She decides that she was going to call out. So it became a pattern, and I told her, you have a lot of call outs, and it seems like certain days you're calling. I don't understand why you're calling out and you have several days off. Then come to find out, she's telling other team members she was supposed to study and didn't study. And that's the real reason why she wasn't, So what I just decided to do is for 2025, across the board, cracking down on tardiness and making sure that everyone is following protocol and policy. Making sure people are in on time, making sure people are doing what's expected of them at work every day. But that, I'm leaving this. What I really wanted to do is probably try to do one of these at the end of the workday. But I had so much going on today that I just figured, I'm already on break. So what I'll do is I'll just leave a quick 20 minutes and have a conversation with you guys out there. Just remember to subscribe, to like, and we will get back to you again. And if I have time later on today, if any other things come about, maybe I'll leave another upload. But I just figure I need to start doing these daily, and at some point it will catch on. This is day 2, so I didn't get any responses yesterday, which is fine. Sometimes these things start slow. But it'll be better, and the more I do it, the more comfortable I'll be at it. So the only thing that I can say is I'm signing off, and let's get after it. Be blessed, and I will talk with you soon.